Hi, I am Dr. Elina Hartwell. Welcome to my channel. Imagine this. It is late at night. The house has gone quiet. The lights are dim. Everything around you is still. But inside you, something is not still. Your eyes are closed, yet your mind is open. Thoughts begin to arrive slowly at first, then one after another. A memory from years ago. A worry about tomorrow. A conversation that didn't feel right. A face you miss. A health concern you've been silently carrying, and you turn in bed hoping sleep will come, but the more you wait for sleep, the more awake you feel. If this sounds familiar, I want you to understand something very clearly from a psychological perspective. This is not old age failing you. This is the mind doing what it has learned to do over many years, thinking more at quiet times, especially at night. And the important truth is this. Sleep is not something that disappears with age. It is something that becomes more sensitive to the state of your mind. The good news is your mind can still be trained, even now, even at this stage of life. And one of the most powerful tools is something simple, a personal rule you live by every night. Not a medicine, not a complicated technique, but a psychological way of relating to the night differently. Let's explore this together. The first part of this rule is something very important. I do not solve my life at night. Many older adults carry a lifetime of responsibility. You think about your children, your home, your past decisions, your health, your future. And because the night is quiet, the mind feels like it finally has space to think. But psychologically, something important happens at night. The brain becomes more emotional and less logical. Problems feel bigger, memories feel heavier, worries feel more urgent. So when you try to solve life problems at night, your mind goes into a loop. Not solution mode, but repetition mode. So you gently practice this shift. This is not the time for decisions. This is the time for rest. You are not ignoring your life. You are simply placing boundaries on when to think about it. And this is not weakness. This is mental wisdom. The second part of the rule is, my bed is not a thinking place, it is a resting place. This may sound simple, but psychologically it is very powerful. The human brain is built on association. If night after night your bed becomes a place of thinking, worrying, or remembering, the brain starts learning bed equals sign alertness. But if your bed becomes a place only for rest, stillness, and sleep, the brain learns bed equals sign calmness. This is called conditioning, and it is one of the most important tools for improving sleep at any age. So slowly, gently, you retrain your mind. When I lie down, I rest. I do not analyze. I do not solve. I do not replay. Just rest. The third part of the rule is, I allow sleep to come. I do not chase it. This is one of the biggest struggles for older adults. You lie down and you try to sleep. You check the time. You wonder why it is not happening. You become more aware of every thought, every sound, every sensation. But here is the psychological truth. Sleep does not respond well to pressure. The more you try to force sleep, the more alert the mind becomes. So instead of chasing sleep, you shift your attitude. I am not here to force sleep. I am here to rest. This removes performance pressure from the brain. And when pressure reduces, sleep naturally becomes more possible. The fourth part is I bring my attention back to my body, not my thoughts. At night, thoughts can feel endless, especially for older adults who naturally reflect more on life. So instead of following thoughts, you gently guide your attention back to something simple and real. Your breathing, the feeling of the pillow, the weight of your body on the bed, the stillness in the room. Not to control the mind, but to anchor it. Because psychologically, something important happens here. When attention moves from thoughts to the body, the nervous system begins to calm down. And when the body calms, the mind follows. The fifth part of the rule is, I do not judge myself for not sleeping. This is one of the most healing principles. Because often, what keeps people awake is not just thoughts, but frustration. You may start thinking, why is this happening to me? I used to sleep better. Something is wrong. And that frustration becomes another layer of mental activity. So now you gently shift, even if sleep is slow. I am still resting. Even if I am awake, I am still safe. Even if sleep comes late, I am not failing. This removes emotional pressure, and without pressure, the mind relaxes. Now let's understand something deeper in a simple way. As people grow older, the mind naturally becomes more reflective. It reviews life more often. It remembers more. It thinks more deeply. This is not a problem. It is a natural stage of life. But at night, without structure, reflection can turn into overthinking. That is why this rule is so powerful. It gives your mind structure when everything else is quiet. It gently tells your brain, night is not for struggle. Night is not for solving. Night is for release. Now let's bring this into a simple nightly practice you can actually follow. When you lie down, first take a slow breath and say quietly to yourself, I am done for today. Now I rest. When thoughts come, don't argue with them. Don't follow them. Just notice this is a thought. I will not go with it. Then gently bring your attention back to your breathing. In and out, slowly, gently. If your mind wanders again, that is okay. You simply return again. No frustration, no judgment, just return. And something very important begins to happen over time. Your mind learns that night is not a place of struggle anymore. Your body begins to feel safer at bedtime. Your thoughts lose some of their power, and sleep starts to return more naturally. Not suddenly, not perfectly, but gradually. And here is a truth I want you to hold deeply. At older age, sleep is not about trying harder. It is about allowing more. Allowing the mind to slow down, allowing thoughts to pass, allowing the body to rest without pressure. Because sleep is not a task you complete, it is a state you return to. So here is your action step starting tonight. Choose this simple personal rule. I will not fight my thoughts at night. I will only rest. Repeat it gently every night before bed. Practice it even if your sleep is not perfect, because your mind does not change in one night. It changes through repetition, patience, and kindness. And remember this, you are not losing sleep with age. You are simply learning a quieter way to return to it. And when the mind becomes less heavy, sleep does not need to be forced. It comes back on its own, gently, naturally, quietly.